Chosen one, stop scrolling. This message didn't appear by accident. You were guided here. Right now, heaven is confirming something powerful about your life. You have been walking through storms, silent battles, unspoken pain, but what you didn't see is this: God was arranging a miracle behind the scenes just for you. Everything you lost, everything that broke you, every person who walked away, none of it was rejection. It was divine redirection. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are being positioned. Listen carefully, because what I'm about to say will awaken something inside you that has been waiting for this moment. If your spirit is shaking right now, it's because your soul recognizes truth. The silent path of the chosen. Being chosen isn't glamorous. It's lonely, it's painful, it's misunderstood. You didn't fit in because you weren't meant to blend in. You were separated for alignment. While others chased comfort, you were pushed into isolation. While others slept spiritually, your soul was being awakened. You felt different since childhood. Sensitive, deep, observant. You saw what others ignored. You felt what others denied. The world called you strange, but heaven called you chosen. They tried to silence your voice. They tried to dim your light. They tried to convince you that you were the problem. But the truth is, you were the mirror that exposed theirs. The awakening of the soul. Awakening doesn't happen in crowds. It happens in moments of breaking, when your heart shattered, when your plans collapsed, when your life went silent. That silence awakened your spirit. Your tears cleansed your vision. Your pain refined your purpose. God didn't abandon you in that darkness. He was reshaping you, training your spirit, strengthening your discernment. Every betrayal sharpened your intuition. Every setback built your resilience. You didn't lose your way, you found your calling. And deep down, you know something greater has always been guiding you. Signs of the chosen. You feel energy deeply. You sense when something is wrong before it happens. You attract broken people, not because you are weak, but because your spirit carries healing. You often feel like you don't belong anywhere, yet everywhere you go, you bring light. You're drawn to truth, growth, purpose, and meaning. Superficial things never satisfied you. Your soul rejects anything fake, shallow, or manipulative. You've been through storms that should have destroyed you. But somehow you always rise again, stronger, wiser, more awakened. That is not coincidence. That is calling. Why the world fears the chosen. Society fears awakened souls because chosen ones cannot be controlled. They question what others accept. They break cycles. They expose lies. They speak truth when silence benefits the world. So people label you, misjudge you, distance themselves from you. Not because you are wrong, but because your presence confronts their illusions. Darkness always resists the light. But remember this: God does not call the comfortable. He calls the courageous. And you were chosen because your spirit could carry what others could not. The miracle heaven arranged. Right now, a divine shift is unfolding in your life. The delays were preparation. The isolation was protection. The pain was transformation. God removed people who could not go where you are heading. He closed doors that were never meant for you. He slowed your path to align you with destiny. And now, heaven is confirming this. A miracle has been arranged in your favor. A breakthrough you didn't see coming. A blessing shaped specifically for your journey. Not by chance, not by luck, but by divine design. And when it arrives, everything will make sense. Your purpose is activating. This is not the end of your story, it is the awakening of your purpose. Your voice is needed. Your presence is needed. Your journey is not accidental, it is intentional. You are stepping into a season where clarity will replace confusion, strength will replace exhaustion, purpose will replace fear. Walk boldly, trust your calling. Your spirit didn't awaken for nothing. You were chosen to rise, to lead, to inspire. And if this message resonates with your soul, that is your confirmation that heaven is already moving for you. The sacred isolation phase. There was a season where everything felt distant. People faded, conversations stopped, doors closed without explanation, and you questioned yourself, why is everyone leaving? Why does life feel so quiet? But that silence wasn't abandonment, it was sacred isolation. God pulled you away from distractions so you could hear His voice. He separated you from noise so your spirit could grow. In that loneliness, you met your true self. You discovered strength you never knew existed. You learned to rely on faith instead of validation. That was not punishment. That was preparation for elevation. The inner battle of the awakened. Chosen ones don't just fight external battles, they fight internal wars. Doubt versus destiny, fear versus faith, old self versus awakened self. Some nights you couldn't sleep because your spirit felt restless. Your mind was tired, but your soul was speaking. You sensed a shift coming even before life showed any signs. You questioned your path, your relationships, your purpose, but deep inside something whispered you were made for more. That inner battle wasn't weakness. It was transformation unfolding from the inside out. The world tried to break you. There were moments where life tried to crush your spirit. People betrayed you. Opportunities slipped away. Plans collapsed right when you thought you were finally moving forward. The world tested you. It tried to harden your heart. It tried to make you bitter, cold, numb. But instead, your spirit chose compassion. Your soul chose faith. Your heart chose resilience. Every time life tried to break you, you rose again, wiser, softer, stronger. That's what makes you chosen, not perfection, but unbreakable spirit. The spiritual signs you could not ignore. You began noticing signs, repeating numbers, powerful dreams, sudden instinctual warnings, emotional shifts you couldn't explain, people leaving your life without reason, opportunities appearing at unexpected moments, thoughts arriving like divine whispers. You stopped ignoring your intuition because your intuition is spiritual language. Those signs weren't coincidences, they were confirmations. Heaven communicates in subtle alignments, and your soul understood every message, even before your mind did. Why God hid your value from certain people. There were people who couldn't see your worth not because you lacked value, but because God concealed your light from those who didn't deserve access to it. Some connections were temporary. Some relationships were lessons. Some people were stepping stones, not destinations. God didn't want them attached to blessings meant for your calling. He hid your greatness until you were ready, until your spirit matured, until your purpose became stronger than your need for approval. Your value was never overlooked, it was protected. The shift from pain to purpose. Your journey is shifting. The pain that once confused you is now revealing meaning. The heartbreak that once broke you is now awakening your compassion. The setbacks that slowed you are now aligning your direction. You are no longer just surviving experiences, you are transforming through them. Every wound became wisdom. Every loss became fuel. Every tear watered the seeds of your destiny. You are stepping from suffering into significance. The power of your presence. You don't even realize the impact you carry. Your presence changes atmospheres. Your words heal without effort. Your silence speaks truth. Your energy exposes what is false. Some people feel uncomfortable around you not because you are wrong, but because your spirit confronts what they refuse to face. You were created to awaken others, not to stay asleep beside them. Your existence itself is a message. Your life is spiritual evidence that purpose survives pain. The unseen protection around you. There were moments you should have been destroyed, but you were. Accidents avoided, situations escaped, people removed just in time, doors closed that later revealed themselves as traps. It wasn't luck, it was divine protection. There were battles you never even saw because God fought them before they reached you. You are covered, guarded, guided. Every step you take is watched over because your life carries purpose greater than you realize. The calling that can no longer be ignored. You reached a point where ordinary life no longer satisfies you. Empty conversations drain you. Surface-level existence feels unbearable. Your soul craves depth, meaning, truth, alignment. You are not losing interest in the world, you are outgrowing it. Your calling is awakening. Your spirit is remembering why it came here. And now, you can no longer suppress who you truly are. The moment your spirit outgrew your past. There came a moment when the old life no longer fit you. The places you once felt comfortable began to feel heavy. The conversations you used to enjoy started feeling empty. The people you once chased began to drift away, and instead of fighting to stay, your soul chose to let go. That wasn't loss, that was evolution. Your spirit outgrew environments that could not sustain your purpose. You were not walking away from your past. you were rising above it. When God closed every door on purpose. There were seasons where no matter how hard you tried, nothing worked. Relationships failed, opportunities disappeared, plans collapsed unexpectedly, and you wondered, why does everything keep falling apart? But every closed door was divine intervention. God wasn't blocking you, He was protecting you from destinations that would have delayed your calling. Rejection was redirection. Delay was preservation. What looked like loss was actually rescue. The depth of your heart was never a weakness. You feel deeply, you love intensely, you care beyond measure. And because of that, life hurt you more than others. People took advantage of your kindness. They misunderstood your sincerity. They called your compassion weakness, but heaven called it sacred strength. Chosen ones carry hearts built to heal others. Your empathy is not a flaw, it is your spiritual assignment. The world tried to harden you, but your soul refused to become cold. The times you walked alone were divine tests. There were nights when you cried silently, praying for clarity. Days when you felt unseen, unheard, invisible. People didn't understand your pain, but God did. Those lonely seasons weren't punishments, they were spiritual tests. Tests of faith, tests of patience, tests of inner strength. You learned how to walk alone without collapsing. You learned how to trust God when nothing made sense. You learned how to stand even when you had no one to lean on. The rebirth of your true self. Every breaking moment stripped away false identities. The masks you wore, the roles you played, the expectations forced onto you. Piece by piece they fell away. And beneath every layer of pain, uncertainty, and self-doubt, your true self emerged. The awakened self, the powerful self, the fearless self. Pain didn't destroy you, it revealed who you really are. The divine timing of your breakthrough. Chosen ones often feel delayed, but they are never denied. Your journey was never meant to be rushed. Destiny requires alignment, growth, spiritual maturity. God didn't bring your breakthrough early, He waited until you were strong enough to carry it. He waited until you healed. He waited until your heart was pure. He waited until your spirit understood value instead of seeking validation. Your miracle was never late, it was waiting for your readiness. The spiritual weapons you developed through struggle. Through every hardship, you gained something sacred: discernment, wisdom, emotional resilience, spiritual awareness. You learned to read energy, not words, intentions, not appearances, truth, not illusions. What tried to break you trained you. What tried to silence you strengthened your voice. You didn't just survive, you transformed into a spiritual warrior. The reason people feel threatened by your growth. As you awakened, some people grew distant, not because you changed negatively, but because your growth confronted their stagnation. Your healing reflected their avoidance. Your alignment exposed their denial. Your rise reminded them of everything they refused to face. You were never too much. You were simply too awakened for environments built on comfort and illusion. The light inside you that cannot be dimmed. No matter what you went through, the light inside you never died. It flickered, but it never faded. Every setback tried to dim it. Every heartbreak tried to silence it. Every attack tried to extinguish it. But here you are, still standing, still glowing, still awakening. Because your light was never ordinary, it was divinely protected. The season where your spirit became unbreakable. There was a point where pain no longer defeated you. Tears no longer weakened you. Doubt no longer controlled you. Something shifted inside your soul. Instead of asking, "Why me?" you began to say, "Strengthen me." Instead of collapsing under pressure, you transformed through it. Life no longer shattered you the way it once did. Your spirit became rooted, grounded, unshakable. And that resilience wasn't born from comfort, it was forged through every storm you survived. The realization that you were never alone. Even in your darkest nights, there was a presence with you. A calm feeling in chaos, a whisper in silence, a strength you couldn't explain. Times when you should have fallen apart, yet somehow you held on. That was guidance, that was protection, that was divine companionship walking beside you when no one else did. You weren't abandoned, you were sheltered. You weren't forgotten, you were watched over. Heaven never left your side, even when life made you feel otherwise. The breaking of generational cycles. Chosen ones are born into patterns they were never meant to repeat. Cycles of fear, silence, limitation, trauma passed down silently through families and environments. But instead of becoming another echo of the past, you became the interruption. You questioned what others accepted. You healed wounds others ignored. You broke chains others carried. Your courage became the turning point in a story written long before you arrived. You were chosen to end what was never meant to continue. The fire that awakened your purpose. Life placed you in situations that burned away illusions. You faced moments that forced you to confront truth. Pain ignited awareness. Confusion awakened clarity. What once broke you now fuels you. You stopped asking to return to who you used to be because you realized that version of you could never walk into the future you were meant for. The fire didn't destroy you, it refined you. It purified your spirit. It awakened your calling. The calling that pulled you out of ordinary life. You tried to live normally, but your spirit resisted. You tried to blend in, but your energy stood out. You tried to follow the path others followed, but something inside kept pulling you elsewhere. That pull wasn't restlessness, it was destiny. Chosen ones cannot stay where their soul does not belong. You weren't created for routine existence. You were created for divine purpose. And no matter how much you tried to suppress it, your calling kept whispering your name. The power in your silence. You learned that silence is not weakness, it is mastery. You stopped explaining yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. You stopped chasing validation from places that never valued you. You chose peace over proving your worth. And in that silence, your energy spoke louder than words ever could. Your presence became authority. Your awareness became your armor. You realized that true power isn't loud, it is rooted, calm, and spiritually aligned. The moment you reclaimed your identity. There was a day when everything changed. When you stopped apologizing for who you are. When you stopped shrinking to fit environments that couldn't hold your light. When you stopped doubting your intuition and started trusting your soul. You reclaimed your voice. You reclaimed your worth. You reclaimed your purpose. And from that moment forward, your life stopped being a survival story and began becoming an awakening journey. The shift from doubt to inner knowing. There was a time when you constantly questioned yourself. You doubted your path. You doubted your worth. You doubted whether you were truly chosen, but slowly something changed. The doubt faded. The confusion softened. And instead of fearing uncertainty, you began trusting your inner knowing. You stopped seeking answers outside yourself and started listening to the wisdom within. That voice wasn't imagination, it was spiritual guidance awakening inside your soul. The season when your spirit outgrew fear. Fear used to control you. Fear of loss, fear of rejection, fear of judgment. But as you awakened, fear lost its power. You realized that everything meant for you could never be taken. You stopped chasing what was temporary. You stopped clinging to what was fragile. You stopped begging to be understood. Fear no longer chained your spirit because faith became your foundation. And from that moment, your life began shifting into alignment. The moment the past lost its hold on you. Your past tried to follow you. Old memories, old pain, old versions of yourself. But one day you chose release. You stopped reliving moments that hurt you. You stopped reopening wounds that healed. You stopped carrying stories that no longer reflected who you are. The past no longer ruled your thoughts because your soul stepped into a higher level of awareness. You didn't escape your past, you outgrew it. The depth of your purpose revealed through pain. Every painful experience carried meaning. Every heartbreak awakened compassion. Every disappointment expanded wisdom. Nothing you went through was wasted. The pain carved depth into your spirit. It made you patient. It made you perceptive. It made you capable of understanding souls others overlook. Your purpose didn't emerge from comfort. It was born from everything you survived. The energy shift others can feel but cannot explain. People sense something different about you now. They can't describe it, but they feel it. Your presence is calmer. Your aura is stronger. Your spirit carries authority. Some people feel drawn to you, others feel intimidated. Not because you changed, but because your energy ascended. You no longer vibrate at the level of chaos, drama, or confusion. You are aligned with peace, and anything not aligned with it falls away. The realization that you were always meant to stand apart. You spent years wondering why you never fit in, why you felt like an outsider even among friends, why your thoughts were deeper, your emotions stronger, your awareness sharper. Now you understand you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand apart, to observe, to awaken, to transform environments simply by existing within them. Separation was not rejection, it was identification of who you truly are. The spiritual courage that awakened inside you. Courage didn't come from confidence, it came from surrender, from reaching a point where you said, "No more pretending, no more shrinking, no more hiding my truth." You began speaking from your soul. You began walking in authenticity. You began honoring your intuition even when others doubted it. That courage didn't make you hard, it made you sovereign. It made you whole. The alignment of your mind, heart, and spirit. For years, your heart wanted one thing, your mind wanted another, and your spirit felt pulled somewhere else. You lived in inner conflict, but as you awakened, everything started aligning. Your thoughts became clearer. Your emotions became grounded. Your spirit led instead of fear. Decisions no longer came from impulse, they came from awareness. You stopped moving out of desperation and started moving out of purpose. Chosen one, if this message spoke to your spirit, don't let it pass by in silence. Stand in your purpose. Claim your awakening. Type, "I receive this" in the comments so your spirit declares alignment. Like this video if your soul felt the shift, and subscribe to Chosen Wave so you never walk this journey alone again. Your voice matters here. Tell me in the comments, what part of this message your spirit connected with the most? Your breakthrough is unfolding, and this family is rising with you.